Welcome back to the Barrel Zone. We are doing the full MLB card breakdown, and then we will talk some NBA. We have a shit ton of baseball games today. Only a few that are super interesting, but we are running through the not so interesting ones as always. Starting at the top, we have Miami, St. Louis, Alcantara, and Oviedo. Alcantara has been pitching really well. He's really true ace material for Miami. He has a 3.8 Sierra so far, 13% swinging strike rate, 52% ground ball rate. His stats are pretty balanced against both sides of the plate. On the other end, Johan Oviedo isn't a terrible prospect in my opinion. He just needs some time. If you just look at the surface stats, he has an ERA and the Sierra above 5, which is obviously not not too good. But he's missing bats. He has almost a 13% swinging strike rate. The ground ball rate is almost 50%. He limits hard contact. So overall, I think if he can get rid of the walks, which have been hurting him, he has a 14% walk rate. I think he will be kind of fine. We will see if that happens through the year or in the next seasons. But I think he has good stuff. Early money has been coming in on Miami here. I kind of agree. I think Alcantara is really, way more of a refined MLB level pitcher. But be aware that the Cardinals are big underachievers offensively. Their underlying numbers are way better than what we've seen so far. So they could be due for a little bit of an offensive outburst. We will see if it happens or not. But I'm staying away. I make this game exactly a pick'em, so no value either way. Next game, Cincinnati-Milwaukee. This is a bit interesting one. I was kind of surprised to see Milwaukee laying almost minus 150. You can see some minus 150s on the board. Pinnacle is at minus 142. So yeah, Tyler Mahle is a problematic guy as he has one of the highest spin rate increases coming into the year. And since the league's memo went out, he had one start and he gave up 4 earned runs and he didn't look very good. So he could be due for some regression that's here to stay. That's why I'm staying away eventually. But I think this is not so much one-sided as the odds might indicate. Freddie Peralta has been pitching really well, but I think the Reds are the better offensive team here, and they will have 4 or 5 lefties in the lineup. Peralta is far weaker against lefties than righties. So yeah, I make this one Milwaukee minus 127. So I would probably normally enter the market around plus 140 on Cincinnati. But I just want to see May just pitch another game or two and see if the speed rate decrease will really happen and he continues to struggle a bit. But so I'm not getting involved here. But my lean would be Cincinnati. I think this is really a hefty price to lay with Milwaukee. Tampa Bay at the White Sox. This is off the board. I'm not sure why. I make the White Sox here minus 133. So we could see a small edge here. We were on the White Sox yesterday, and Dallas Keuchel really rolled as I expected. His swinging strike rate was still pretty high, above his season average. I think this is an even better matchup for Lucas Giolito going up against Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay has a team strikeout of 28.9% against this side of the plate, so they are really a high strikeout team. Yarbrough, on the other end, was a guy that has been really trustworthy lately. That wasn't the case early in the season, but he had a 9-inning outing not too long ago, and he has been going deep into games. His main weapons are that he's not giving up any hard contact, just 28%. He has a 4% walk rate, a 16% infield pop-up rate. I really like the guy. I think overall he's really fun. We will see what happens when he meets the White Sox. Obviously, one of the strongest team in the league. against lefties. Even if they got lucky so far with the balls in play, I think they are still consistently a top three offense against the left-handed pitchers. So we will see what happens. My lean would be the White Sox. I think we will see a minus 135 to maybe a minus 140, but I'm not sure we will get to that range. But if you get a cheaper price than minus 130, this would be a look for me today. Detroit at KC, Skubal at Singer. I have problem laying these minus 140s, minus 150s with KC. I mentioned this yesterday with Mike Miner. KC ended up losing that game. They're just not a really good team, and them being like pretty big favorites, it's not a role that I like. I think Singer is pretty decent. 50% ground ball rate. His Sierra is under 4. He only gives out 29% hard contact. Overall, he's stronger against lefties, but pretty balanced, and he's decent at home. Got hit around against Oakland the last outing, but I mean, the difference between Oakland and Detroit is just huge. Skubal on the other end, I'm not a huge fan. He has an 11% walk rate. He's leaning to the fly ball side, almost a 50% fly ball rate, but he gives up almost 40% hard contact, 39%. His FIP against righties is 5.8, 360 Woba. He also has a 390 Woba on the road. So yeah, I'm leaning KC here. My line here is minus 135, so no edge either way. Padres at the Rockies, Blake Snell, Kyle Freeland. Blake Snell laying minus 180 on the road. I make this minus 194, but I think my numbers are a bit too high on Snell. He has been extremely inconsistent through the season. The secondaries are just simply not there. Not well commended. He doesn't really have like anything besides his fastball that's consistently there. He has a 13.5% walk rate, 36% hard hit rate. His WOBA on the road is over 400, and pitching at Coors Field, we have a 12 total. I think that implies that both teams will have success offensively. Remember that the Rockies obviously are way better at home, but they are way better against lefties as well. They are close to league average across the board if you look at any stats offensively as a team. So yeah, this is not the easiest matchup at Coors Field for Blake Snell. And Kyle Freeland is, he has been really bad, although we've only seen him pitch 17 innings so far this year, but his Sierra is above 6, swinging strike rate under 7%. Not a lot of good in his profile. It looks really, really ugly. So I think the Padres will score at will, but I'm thinking Snell will also likely to get hit. And I agree with the line being a bit closer, moving closer to Colorado. That would be my lean at this price. Honestly, this will likely be a shootout, and I'm not laying like minus 190 with Snell on the road. LA Angels, Oakland, Canning, Irving. Irving, slight home favorite, minus 123. I make this minus 117, so I'm even closer to a pick'em. Both pitchers are coming off outings against KC, and both have been pitching really well. Both went 6 innings with just 1 earned. Irving has been pitching okay, but really nothing special. His line drive rates are really high. Obviously, his home park in Oakland is really forgiving, and it's helping him. He only gives up 31% hard contact. His walk rate is below 4%. Everything else is kind of like league average, but the low walk rate and the low hard hit rate is helping him, and he is absolutely okay. Griffin Canning on the other side, a bit of a wild pitcher. He has a 15% swinging strike rate, which obviously looks awesome, but he has a 10% walk rate, which is not very good if you look at his home run to fly ball ratio. That's 20%. And while that should regress, but the fact is that this is a guy that if he is getting hit, he's getting hit hard, and pair that with the walks, and he can really get into trouble really easily just by walking a few guys and then giving up a home run. But I like the fact that he's missing bats, although pitching against Oakland on the road is never easy. Nolan here. If I had to pick a side, I would go with Oakland, but I think the price is kind of right. Pittsburgh at Washington. This was supposed to be Max Scherzer, but he's on the IL, so it will be a bullpen game from the Nationals. And Pittsburgh sends out Chase DeYoung. DeYoung has a 7% swinging strike rate. His Sierra is 5.5 in just 15 innings so far. Contact rate above 80%. This is not a game you want to get involved with. Yankees at Toronto. Garrett Cole laying minus 165. Ross Stripling at home. Stripling is really just a guy. I know he had a couple of better starts, and some analysts are relatively like high on him. But I mean, he has like a 4 Sierra. Nothing really stands out, and the problem is that righties are really getting to him. 390 WOBA, 5.2 FIP, and his road WOBA is above 360. Pitching against this Yankees team that will eventually wake up. I don't like the black Stripling here, and I think Cole, while he has been great, he's consistently overpriced. My number here is closer to minus 145. So yeah, in theory, I should be backing the Jays, and normally I would be running to the window backing them, as I think they are playing some great baseball right now. But Stripling is really not a guy I want to back. Cubs at the Mets. This is going to be a bullpen game against DeGrom. DeGrom had that elbow issue, and the first news came out that he needs to go to the IL for potentially a month. And they said that he's fine now, and he already pitched the bullpen. My line here is minus 194, but I won't be backing DeGrom no matter what the line is. We won't be getting a bargain with him for sure. And I mean, coming off an injury, even if it's not as serious, I think you should stay away. At least like watch him for a game or two. Make sure he's at 100%. You don't want to lay minus 200 to get burned then. Baltimore, Cleveland, Aiken at Civale. Civale off an 8-inning outing, 11 Ks. He was really rolling the last time out. He had a 41% call strikes plus whiffs. Orioles, not a scary offense, 84 WRC plus against righties. Keegan Aiken for Baltimore, he's averaging 3.5 innings. He went 4 innings in the last outing. He doesn't give up too much hard contact, only 26%, not a lot of line drives, leading a bit to the fly ball side, although that's not really a problem. But he had some velocity drop to this season. But he's overall, I think, an okay pitcher. If that wasn't the case, I would be laying this price with Cleveland. But I think Akin is all right, and Cleveland's offense is just so bad that I cannot trust them. If this gets to the minus 145 range, I don't think it will. I would be backing Cleveland. That would be my entry price to back them here. Boston, Atlanta, Garrett Richards, Ian Anderson. I was waiting to back Anderson here. I really like him. Coming off another 7-inning outing, 4 Ks in Philadelphia. He has a 3.9 Sierra, swinging strike rate above league average, ground ball rate 54%. Hard hit rate 28%, infield pop-up rate 14%. His line drive rates are 21%. At home, he has a 260 WOBA so far. So everything is kind of looking real nice for Anderson. And Garrett Richards is not a guy I believe in. I did back him a few times against weaker teams, but overall, I think the stats are not too impressive. He has an 11% walk rate. The swinging strike rate is below league average. His velocity is down this season about a tick on his fastball. His line drive rate is 26% against righties, gives up almost 38% hard hit rate. So yeah, not a guy I would like to back, but I think the Braves are a bit overpriced here. I'm closer to minus 140 here, and they are minus 155. I'm pretty sure that the books don't want any Atlanta money here. I think the Braves should take this one quite easily, honestly. Texas Houston, Zach Greinke laying 220. Yeah, that I'm not going to go there. I make this 213 minus 230 in Houston. Greinke was hit around by Boston. Before that game, I was talking about him being just worse this year, not missing as many bets, and still just living by inducing soft contact and being smart, pitching smart. But that's not something that works against Boston. But it could work against Texas. The Rangers are a way weaker team, 309 ex Woba, 88 WRC plus against righties, 26% K rate. So yeah, I think Greinke will be fine here. Lies on the other end has a 40% hard hit rate, 27% line drive rate against righties. His whip is 1.5. Just bad stuff across the board. So I completely agree with the line, and I think Houston should win this pretty easily. Arizona, San Francisco, Kelly at Disclafani. Arizona is 9-29 on the road. They lost 12 straight games coming into this one. Giants are rolling. The underlying metrics are really nice. They are really one of the better offenses in the AL. Tony Disco for San Fran, coming off a 9 inning outing, 8 Ks at Washington. He has a 4 Sierra, ground ball rate and hard hit rate well above league average, high infield pop up rate. He's really strong against righties and at home. So yeah, Tony Disco against weak teams, I think is a home run. But he's really overpriced here. As for Kelly, I just don't see anything that tells me that he could survive this Giants team. High heart hit rate, contact rate above 80%, swinging strike rate below league average, high line drive rates, especially against lefties, 31%. He has a 350 Woba on the road and a pretty bad bullpen behind him. So yeah, leaning towards the Giants, but no play. Next game, pretty interesting one. Wheeler Kershaw. Wheeler has been pitching really amazingly this year. I just looked at the stats of these two guys, and Wheeler has almost better stats than Kershaw, which is kind of insane. He has a 2.8 Sierra, almost a 14% swinging strike rate, walk rate at 5%, hard hit rate under 24%, line drive rates are super low. So yeah, obviously Kershaw is the GOAT, 16% swinging strike rate, 49% ground ball rate, no walks. I think both guys will pitch a fine game here. I agree with the total. It's 7.5, but it's moving towards the under. I think this will end up likely around 7. But Bryce Harper had to leave last night's game with a back injury for Philly. So yeah, I think the under would be the only way I look here. I make this minus 150 LA, so the minus 145 theoretically is an edge with Kershaw, but I just don't want to lay any favorite price against Wheeler. I think he's just that good, and this is really a close game. So had a bit of a connection error, but hopefully you got the end of the breakdown. So uh, we will talk some NBA now, but I'm quickly summing up my thoughts on the Milwaukee, the MLB slate. So no wagers from me so far. I'm looking at Cincinnati. I would need a plus 140 to back them on the road. I'm looking at the White Sox. Minus 125 would be my entry point to back Giolito at home. And Cleveland, I would need a minus 145. I don't think we will get there, but that would be a spot that I'm okay backing Civali against Baltimore. So that's it for the baseball card, and then we will talk some NBA right now. So we have two NBA games on the board. Neither is like that bad, but I think the price with the Philly price is just super off. So the first game is Atlanta Philly. Philly laying 6 points, 6.5 at some books. I don't think you can go there with the Sixers here. Normally, if we know that they are fully healthy, I would be fine with that. But MB didn't look healthy in the final game. He was 0 for 12 in the second half for a minus 16 while he was on the floor. Only made 4 field goals through the game. I think this end of the series will be really tough for Philly. So they play a game every other day. They need to travel between all of the games for the final 3 games. We will see how his Embiid's meniscus tear holds up. But I would expect even if Philly wins this series, this won't get better if the deeper Philly goes into the playoffs. So I think eventually he might need surgery. And if they get into the Eastern Conference Finals, I could see Embiid maybe like sitting out the game to just rest. He couldn't rest so far through this series. So yeah, I think that dictates and everything. We have a Philly series ticket at minus 120 after they dropped game one. Riding that out, hoping that Embiid will be fine. But honestly, I don't think you can lay 6.5 points with not knowing in how he will look. And I think Atlanta did look okay in the final game, but that was really mostly about Embiid struggling. Collins was really good on the offensive boards. He had 5 offensive rebounds. I think Macmillan did a great job using Gallinari's size also on the defensive end. So yeah, I think the Hawks made a couple of good improvements, but I don't think any of that would be enough if Embiid is 100% healthy, uh, which I don't think is the case, and I don't think we can expect that to be the case. And Philly minus 6.5, in my opinion, is a fully healthy Philly number. So honestly, value is on Atlanta now from a spread perspective. But as I said, I already have a ticket for Philly to win the series, so I'm staying away. LA Clippers, Utah. I like LA here. I think they got it figured out. We had back-to-back games with Leonard and George, both scoring above 30. They have been looking good. They were shooting 45% plus from the field in the last game. And the thing is that this starting rotation with Jackson, George, Leonard, Morris, and Batum is really good. Jackson is really just playing for a contract. I think he's on a 1 year contract, shooting for likely a mid-level exception next year. I think this is a good lineup. If you look at, I think plus minus in the playoffs, this is the second best lineup behind Phoenix's starting lineup. I cannot double check that, but I think when I wrote my notes, that's what popped up for me. So Donovan Mitchell, again, injury risk. It's really about injuries this postseason. His ankle isn't 100%. He said that he has issues when landing on him. He had another ankle roll scare in this game. But he's really off overall. He was a minus 15 on the floor, shooting just 35%. Obviously, You have an ankle injury that will affect your jump shot as well. So it's really difficult for me to just see Utah overcoming this. And Conley, we haven't seen him through this series. Even if he comes back, he will be on minutes restrictions. He will likely be rusty. So yeah, I have to go with the healthier team, and I also another note: Patrick Beverly. He played really good defensively in this last game. He's another guy that was injured right up until the playoffs, and then he came back and looked pretty good, and now he's super useful for the team. So yeah, I think this current Clippers starting lineup is probably the best starting lineup, maybe in the whole playoffs, and I think they will somehow get the W in Utah. I think you are fine backing the Clippers on the money line, or just back them to win the series. It's close to a pick 'em right now. I think the health and the good adjustments by Tai Lu are the things that are swaying me towards LA here. All right. Thanks for tuning in. I will be back tomorrow at the same time. If you know Tema plays, you can go to patreon.com/the Barrel Zone and join the Discord channel. Thanks for tuning in, and I see you guys tomorrow at the same time.